Welcome, gents, to
Thank
Metalating
you.
Pages. It's a great pleasure to talk with you about Iotunn, this
Thank you
new
so
album,
much.
Kinship, and more things related to the metal world in general. So we start by asking, how are you doing today? How is the band? How is the band over the last couple of years?
Today I'm doing very fine. I'm having a bit of holiday before I go back to work this Monday. So everything is pretty relaxed and the band's doing great. We've had a couple of really good years with some great shows, and also we've had an awesome process of making this next album that we are releasing very soon called Kinship.
Mm. Okay. So when do you start writing songs for this new Kinship? Are all the songs new, or perhaps did you rescue any composition that left without for the previous one?
There's no kind of leftovers from any older projects or Access All Worlds for that matter. When we make an album, work. We are very focused on getting the songs narrowed down, and pretty early in the process being settled to settle us with the exact songs that we want on the album. So this new album has nothing to do with Access All Worlds or other projects. It's its own entity.
Mm. Okay, okay. So your debut album received great reviews. After such a successful debut, do you feel any pressure to surpass what you did on that album with this new second album? Have you there any been change in your songwriting process compared to your debut?
No, not really. Of course, it would be a lie to say that we are not that we do not feel that to say that we don't feel that we have to really deliver and do our best, but being pressured or in a negative way is not something that is on our mind or something that we experience. Um, we have been working on this album Kinship for many years. Also during the time when we worked on Access All Worlds, and we try just to do what we do best and do our best, and and then the only thing we want is to make music that we like listening to, and that we believe in, and then you could say that it's not, and we try not to compare every album with each other. We try to build a wall between them so that all our focus when it goes into Kinship will be just uh, will be just for Kinship without comparing to other stuff or to Access All Worlds. Um, but of course we have to make sure that we're not dropping in quality. We cannot plan out if it's gonna be better or anything like that, but we can, with the feel, with stomach feel, we can kind of try to make sure that at least we're not getting worse.
Mhm. Okay, okay, that is true. That is true. So all bands see that the last album is the best effort to date. Usually thinks that the best. This is the best child for a lot of bands. Usually that's a common thing when the albums think like that. So for you, if we relate with this topic, so what makes this album special to you, and what does bring us musically and lyrically?
This album is special to me because I think we achieved to make an album that's on paper is way too long. It's 68 minutes long, but it doesn't feel like 68 minutes. I think you just flow through the music when you listen to it, and that in itself is something that I'm very proud of. Um, to maintain interest when you listen to the music instead of tuning out here and there and find it and if you find it boring or anything like that. Also, I'm very pleased with the arrangements and the songwriting as such, I think every time the music take a step further, it's a step in the right direction, and it's something that always sounds interesting. And also, I really like the dynamics of this album. I like that we have more, more clean parts and more, very laid back parts where you really can feel the mood of the music.
Okay. So now talking about the progression of this new album compared to the previous ones, how do you can you as you can see now the people are trying always the label the band usually he just putting for the growth put progressive death metal, other people say progressive melodic death metal, other people say that is progressive metal. So but you are the creator of this new album, so how do you label the sound of the band? How do you sound yourself? So how do you describe your sound yourselves?
It's not that important for us what it is. This entire talk about genres and defining music and putting it in boxes, that's something that we, to some degree, don't really care about. But of course, if being a music nerd, you will always be tempted to discuss these things anyway. But I think I agree with most critics and fans that it's definitely metal, and it combines a lot of stuff from doom and death, black, thrash, classic heavy metal, 70s prog, and so on. And progressive metal also. So there's a bunch of different stuff going on, and but as I said, it's not something that we are really interested in as a primary thing. The main thing for us is to just keep on writing and to have a lot of ideas, and then we just listen to it and try to figure out which ideas we feel the most for. So that's basically it for us.
Okay. Okay, interesting. So, talking about now the album cover, the name of the album, and the lyrics of the music. How do you encompass all these kind of details? I, all these kind of details. It will relate the music, the lyrics, the cover of the name of the album. So, how do you relate all these things to see this is the album's called Kinship because we encompass everything with the lyrics with the cover art.
And of course, we are very aware that everything should be connected. So where does it start? And it always starts with the music. So we write all the guitar parts and put it together as a suggestion to finalize songs or to final arrangements. And then we put it together with bass and drums, and we try to figure out after that what the music sounds like, what associations do we get from listening to the music, and out from that the ideas about concepts comes. And with this album we really felt like that the music had a more dynamic and a more organic approach. Some years back, Jon, Jesper, and I, we discussed what the album could be about, and we think that the album, on one hand, sounded very atmospheric still, and pretty much out there, and there's also some psychedelic parts and stuff like that. But there are also something very, so to speak, close by heart kind of sound to the songs. So we came up with this idea about circling around the term relations. So we discussed what are relations to your relations to your family, to society, to to your neighbor, to yourself within yourself, and to nature, and to ideas and the cosmos as such. And we figured out that we are on track on something that is the very essence of being human. So we then decided to kind of put the entire narrative in some kind of mythological prehistoric time period, that goes way back, so that we could work with these subjects in a matter where the focus was on the primitive. And I don't mean primitive as something that is not developed or haven't evolved. We're talking about primitive as the first thing, the first and basic things that comes to mind when you have to define what human life is about. And then it became a matter of have the lyrics question things about what it is that we do as the first thing in our relations. Yeah, so also have the record to be about human beings that in their relations find trouble being together because they had different interpretations and different ways to find the truth of life and the meaning of life and stuff like that. And that's also what is I think expressed on the artwork, where you have this single individual on the front cover being connected with everything in a circular process, but still being it has this it's like there's a lot of on its this individual's shoulders, so there's a lot of it's subject wise, it's a very heavy record, because it kind of it sets questions on the reality that it can be tough to be a human being and being in society and find your place in everything.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so how do you feel the fan reception of your fans to this album has been so far? Because as I said, the first album was great reviews. Also, I remember the All Over the World, the first album, it was on one of the great ones according to the tops. You can see by the end of the world, this album received a lot of tops, a great start, etc., etc. How do you take these kind of reviews and expectation for this new album? Do you usually read reviews or criticism that are loved online, and how do you take it?
When we create the songs and make an album, we don't think about how it will be reviewed or how what people will think about it, because it's not important. It's important that we like it ourselves. So that will always be the first step, and we have to keep, we have to stay in our bubble and make sure that it's our thing, of course. But when we release singles and when it gets out, we are very interested in what people's responses are, and we are very, very humbled and thankful for the positive reviews, and also the way band and supporters can connect and talk about music together. It's a very meaningful thing, I think.
Okay, and so talking about now the promotion of this new album, what kind of plans do you have after releasing this new album? Obviously, what kind of plans do you have you have lyrics, you have, and etc., etc. Also, you have gigs, tours, perhaps. What kind of plans do you have? Perhaps more videos upcoming soon. What kind of plans do you have for the album?
So far, we will have a release party in Copenhagen this Thursday for 50 people that can hear the entire album the day before it comes out. And then we will have a handful gigs in Denmark where we will headline. And also there will be a couple of more of singles that will be released from the album. And then we will have to see. There's nothing I can confirm yet, but we are working on concerts for tours and festivals and stuff like that. And hopefully we can, go out with this record a lot during 2025 and 26. And then, when we, gigging with this album, on one hand, we are already in the work mode in terms of creating the third album. So, and that's the way we do it. We release an album, play shows, and immediately start working on the follow-up.
Okay. So, as you are relative young band, so what inspired you to create new music and bet on a new fuelend in a digital age where I have 100 releasing albums every week, and as you can see, the people just prefer to hear singles now. So, how do you take this topic that now the people are attention span, and your album has a full duration for more than an hour? So how do you see this aspect with attention span when an album that more than 60 minutes?
Yeah, that's a really good question because again, a lot of people have problems with attention span, and this is something that many points out as something that's a big problem with society today. Everything moving so fast, and not enough. There's not enough room for going into the deep and really sink in. For us, it's no problem, and for a lot of our supporters, it's no problem. I think this so-called attention span problem, is really not that big a problem in the metal world. That's at least how I see it, and of course, we have to with our partners, label and stuff like that. We have to kind of make a good plan and release singles and do the best we can to push our music forward. But it's really not something that is of essence for us. We believe that good music will come out and be noticed. So then again, it's about the groundwork that you do from the beginning. Take your time to make as good songs as you can, and still believe in that it's important to make an album with no fillers, only killers, as they say, and then from there on, just you have to believe in what you think is the honest thing to do, and what you believe in. You have to go for that and release that, and then see what happens, because you cannot. I think it would be difficult to sit down in a creative process and create songs where I have to make sure that it fits in with a time of attention span problems or other stuff. It will pollute the creative process. So we have to stay true and just do what we want to do.
Okay. And the other aspect, at the time that you play a music that evolves a lot of progressive stuff, when you think about the numbers, it's completely normal, because you are playing music with numbers or mathematical aspect, as I said. So, and all the other aspect to compose music is the emotional topics. So when you feel the sensation to create a riff, but at the same time you put the numbers there. So I mean, when you create a riff, you feel the riff, and then you put the numbers, 4 riffs of this scheme in that part, for the create a song or for the create an album in this topic. So how, for you, what is the best important thing, to do this kind of topic? So in what time do you relate the topic of the mathematical topic with the feeling concept at the moment when you create the music?
Of course, the mathematical aspect and also theory is something that you can use as tools to sort things out, or to correct things and make things go well together. But it's really not what is of essence for us. If a part needs to be repeated 3 times or 5 times or 6 times, it's never the number. it's like it's a matter of trying out different stuff and listening to it. And if it sounds right and feels right, then we go with it. And then the number, therefore, isn't that important. The only thing we can do is that we can say, okay, we can confirm this is being repeated 6 times, but it's never the other way around. Okay, 6 times would be good because of the number. Also with theory can be helpful when you have to arrange multi-layered harmonies and stuff like that. But the basic is chord progressions and riffs and clean guitar parts, and that's for us. That's just a matter of grabbing your guitar and then just start playing and see what happens. And then and the way for us to create many ideas that is of quality, so that we have enough stuff to work with, is that, at least for me, I don't spend too much time on an idea that never goes anywhere. So if I started playing and I have an idea, if it takes more than 10 minutes to get to something I'm satisfied with, if it just keeps going nowhere, then I say, okay, fuck it. I don't want to play this stuff anymore. I start over, play something completely different. Because it always turns out that the ideas that you have to work on again and again and again, and they are always not quite there, and you have to try again and again. Those ideas are never the ideas that end up in the songs anyway.
Okay. Well, gents, we come to the sad moments of this interview. I hope you enjoyed this interview like me. Thank you very much for your time. This Kinship is a great album. Congratulations on it. Perhaps you want to add something to your Latin American fans and obviously Metallarium followers.
Yes, sure. We really hope you enjoy the album and give it a listen. And if you like it, perfect. And if you don't, that's also perfect. And then, of course, we really, really hope that we can come play in Latin America at some point. Of course, we cannot promise anything other than we are working on it. And so hopefully we will meet face to face one day.